For this professional development, I decided to focus on reading for literary experience. I believe that it's important for students and children of all ages to be read to. I feel like it increases their love for reading, their literacy development, and cultural awareness. So, for this professional development, I focused on encouraging families or parents to read to their children. For my needs assessment prior to the professional development, I would send out a survey to parents via email, just asking them a few questions about read alouds. I wouldn't directly ask them if they read to their children because wouldn't want anything to come off as accusing, like you should be doing this and you're not. So some of the questions I would ask were things like, does your family have a library card? Would you like help locating free reading materials to enjoy with your children? Would you like to learn more about children's reading events in your community? And what questions do you have about selecting books for your read alouds? And what struggles does your family face with read aloud time? And then during the professional development, I would try to cover some of these issues. Also, I felt that it was really important to make sure that families have access to these free reading materials because some of our low-income homes, they might not have books in the home. And so this is a way to help them overcome that hurdle and have things to read to their children. So for my instructional objectives, the first instructional objective I have is to encourage families to read to their children. In order to measure this, I would host a reading bingo every month where I could send out a little bingo sheet for families to fill in as they read together. It might have fun stuff on there like at Thanksgiving time or in November, read a Thanksgiving book to your child. Or it might have a Halloween, read in your Halloween costume, things like that. And I would measure the success of that by how many bingo cards I got back. And of course, there'd be a little incentive to go along with that. The second objective I have is to encourage families to take their children to story times and summer reading programs at the local library. This is something that will keep children reading whenever school's not in session, maybe during spring break, summer, for families might learn about story times for children who haven't started school yet and get them started. And to measure that, I would work with the public librarian and come up with a percentage of summer reading sessions we would like them to meet or to attend, and then have them, the librarian, sign off, oh yes, they were here 50% of the time, or for 6 of the 8 story times this summer. And then we would reward them when they came back from school with some kind of field trip, maybe to a local nature center, or maybe even to the library for an activity. The last objective I have is to help families access free reading materials. And I will share my slideshow introduction with you to go over some of those free things that I've found. So real quick, I want to go over the incentive that I am going to use to get families to come to this professional development opportunity. This opportunity will be during Literacy Night. And so I think that will help get families to come because they're their kids are going to want to come to literacy night and show their parents their school, things like that. And then to get them into the door of the library to the professional development, I will offer a drawing for two $25 Amazon gift cards, one for the family, a winning family, and one for the winning family's teacher of choice, their child's teacher, hopefully. And then I'm going to skip ahead to the activities that we would do during the professional development. I would start off with an introductory slideshow, and I will share part of that here in just a minute. And then I would do a read aloud where I read a story to the library aloud and kind of model what that might look like. Let one of the kids that have attended or a parent that's in attendance help me select a book so we can see what that looks like, helping kids pick the appropriate materials. And then for the guided practice, I would have families pick a book together and read to their kids. And then at the end of the session, they would have the opportunity to check that book out and take it home if they wish. I would also have a handout that I would share, which I will share with you. You can see now. I just added some information about the library, the public library, how to access that. And then I've also added some websites and different programs that families can go to find resources for reading materials, and then some tips and room for notes. For this portion of the slideshow, I just wanted to share a couple of slides from my introductory slideshow that I would do to present to parents. One of the things I wanted to make sure that they had was some facts about why reading aloud is important. And then there's also some of the materials like Hoopla, Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, things like that. And to close, I just want to go over the timeline of this presentation for my audience. This would take place during Literacy Night, which would be a weeknight and hopefully a good night for families to attend. This would take place in 45-minute blocks. So it's kind of a longer Literacy Night event, but it would probably be equal 3 events in one Literacy Night. And then the evaluation, how I would evaluate this after. I would send out a follow-up survey for parents with questions like asking about their experience. Was this helpful? Do they plan to attend some of the library activities and participate in the reading bingo? And then I would use those evaluations and the evaluations of collecting the materials. How many bingos did I get back? Who attended the summer reading program and brought that sheet back to school at the beginning of the next school year? How many families signed up for library cards, or how many families have library cards? And so thank you. I hope you enjoy.